Earlier this year, the MCK filed a lawsuit with the Quebec Superior Court. The legal action demanded that the federal and provincial governments respect their duty to consult and accommodate. Ratsénhaienhs Ross Kakwirakeron Montour spoke at a press conference held in Montreal on Monday, March 18th, alongside concerned environmental representatives and activists against how the Northvolt project is being fast-tracked without consultation.
Well, our involvement is in terms of building a broader coalition. So we're dealing with two governments, really. We're dealing with Quebec and we're dealing with the federal government as well in their failure to respect and honor the duty to consult.
We're part of a group of environmental organizations that are looking for greater environmental democracy and greater upholding of Indigenous rights and title when it comes to industrial projects in Quebec. We're seeing a worrying trend here today in Quebec under this government where not only is environmental democracy being weakened, public consultations, existing rules that exist for environmental impact assessments, but we're also seeing a real denial to engage with the issue of Indigenous rights and title.
We are worried about the way the government is pursuing the energy transition right now, especially the industrial development around the energy transition and the way they are trying to avoid some environmental assessment for some certain project like Northvolt.
That wetlands that Northvolt was being built on was a wetlands we negotiated over in 2022, which was at that point about a housing project. The BAP was bypassed, the duty to consult was bypassed for Northvolt.
You know, we're talking about some major impacts that remain unknown to us because there has been a refusal on the part of the government to engage in a very rigorous environmental impact assessment and to submit the project to a public consultation under the BAP.
That is a problem that we're continuing to deal with. So we have the court case before us, which is it's called a HIDA motion, which is specifically particularized to the duty to consult and the requirement of governments to, in fact, consult in a meaningful way with First Nations, with Indigenous peoples.
It's a trend that we see from the government for quite a few years right now, and it's a trend to diminish actually the environmental assessment, diminish the rules around environmental assessment of projects, and try to avoid some rules, some laws around the environment. And what we say is that this is not the way forward. Right now we have a climate crisis, but we also have a biodiversity collapse crisis. So the life itself on Earth is threatened right now, and we cannot, for the sake of building batteries, for example, for electric cars, we cannot destroy environmental ecosystems. We cannot destroy biodiversity habitat, the habitat of the plants and the animals. We have to be sure that we don't worsen the biodiversity crisis by trying to resolve the climate crisis.
At that site are endangered species. We have there 142 bird species, including 14 at risk or of special concern. There's also turtles, which are endangered, soft-shell spiny turtle. There's snapping turtle there. They're waiting on that particular part right now. A significant amount of that wetlands has already been destroyed, as you likely know. They're waiting for the turtles to wake up, I guess, so that they can be told that it's time to leave.
Quebec may claim that it's a state, may claim that it has authority over all lands within the territorial confines of Quebec, including our own, including Kahnawake, and that's just wrong. So we have input, we have concerns, which is based on Ahanda and our responsibility to look after the environment. We're not opposed to green energy, but we need to look and consider all things when it comes to the whole process. And it's not clear that this is as good as they're saying. There's more money to that than anything else, in my view. Yawa.